Wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah. You
and
just
30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
That right there is Loose Cannon casually laying out a timeline that points the finger straight at Big U. Apparently, Big U unknowingly admitted to Nipsey's murder by calling Luz before it even happened. That entire conversation is now trending, and even more shocking revelations about Big U are starting to surface. Let's get right into it. Big U's complicated legacy and his relationship with Nipsey Hussle. Before we can comprehend why people are blaming him, we must first identify Eugene Big U. While Big U has publicly stated that he never officially joined the Rollin' 60s, claiming that his ties to the notorious set are undeniable through the Arlington Gang. Henley Jr. grew up in South Central in the 1980s, near Arlington and Slauson Hood, which would forever be associated with the neighborhood cliques. During a sit-down with Vlad TV, Big U kept it a secret about his street credentials.
You never joined?
I'm one of them guys who just here.
Just around.
Put it like this, it ain't on you, sometimes it's in you.
But according to the 50 and Gang experts, Big U was not only a member, but also a shot caller in the Rolling 60s, and possibly even the top man in the late 80s and early 90s. His reputation was based on his hands and his innate leadership, which cemented his place in the gang hierarchy. His path took a significant turn in 1991 after he was arrested during a drug operation and given a 23-year sentence. During his time in the pen, Big U underwent a transformation that would later serve as the foundation for his reputation as a reformed street leader. When he landed in 2004 after serving 13 years of his sentence, Big U declared his intention to have a positive impact on the same blocks where he was raised. He founded Developing Options Incorporated, SWING, a nonprofit organization dedicated to youth development and gang intervention. During this period of reinvention, Big U became heavily involved in the music industry, launching original music and beginning what would turn out to be a crucial relationship with a young, hungry spitter from Crenshaw named Hermes Asgadon, better known to the world as Nipsey Hussle. This marked the beginning of his public transformation, from street figure to community activist, a transition that federal authorities would later closely monitor. Big U and Nippy's business relationship started when Nippy signed to Big U's unique music for production, with Big U playing a partial management role alongside Steve Lowell, who served as the face to tone down Big U's street image. Nippy's early grind involved him distributing mixtapes like Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Big U recognized something rare in Nippy, describing him as having a unique swag and greatness that separated him from other upcoming artists hustling in the city. This arrangement made it possible for Nippy to take advantage of Big U's connections, while keeping a more respectable image in the industry. According to reports, Nipsey briefly crashed at Big U's crib to record songs in their basement studio, forging a bond that went beyond the usual vibes of an artist manager. Their relationship became even more complicated because of family ties. Word is that Nippy's baby mama was actually Big U's niece, forging a blood tie that further complicated their already complicated relationship. Despite their strong professional and personal ties, Big U and Nippy's relationship wasn't always easy sailing in 2011. Something happened in 2011 that would later feed rumors of a lingering beef between the two men, and this family connection would later play a part in a major fallout between them in 2011. There was a violent confrontation in a parking lot next to the Marathon Apparel store at Crenshaw and Smith in this event, which was extensively covered in forums and later mentioned in court filings. According to reports, there were several reasons for the dispute: a personal conflict involving Nippy's baby mama and a professional disagreement over studio equipment. According to several accounts, Nippy had allegedly put hands on someone at his daughter's mother's crib for exposing his daughter to a risky environment, possibly hurting the mother in the process. Big U, being protective of family, confronted Nippy at the store to address the situation. At the same time, there was a business dispute brewing. Big U had let Nipsey use his recording equipment, but moved it to another location and let others use it, which Nipsey wasn't feeling. These dual issues came to a head in a physical confrontation. Big U confronted Nipsey in an alley near the store, leading to hands being thrown. Sources say that Big U, with his imposing 65-inch frame, got the upper hand against Nipsey and possibly his father and brother, Black Sam. Things took a dangerous turn when Black Sam grabbed a strap from the store and let off a warning shot to stop Big U from beating on Nipsey. The police rolled up within minutes, catching Sam with the gun, which led to his arrest. While nobody got seriously hurt and the incident didn't result in long-term legal consequences. In spite of what the streets were saying, the incident was rooted in street politics and family loyalty, rather than primarily music or money. What's particularly significant about this incident is what happened after it happened. It created a narrative of tension between Big U and Nipsey, the conspiracy theorists would later run with after Nipsey's murder. It's important to keep in mind that, contrary to some rumors, the fight wasn't about Nipsey firing Big U, because Big U's manager was never officially involved in management with Lobel or about a diss track. Big U himself said in the documentary series, Hip Hop Uncovered, that he and Nipsey ended their feud soon after the brawl. He recalled that they spoke that same evening and worked out their disagreements, saying bluntly, "It was never anything after that." Big U acknowledged in the documentary series that he had attempted to discipline Nipsey for the diss track, but was prevented by Black Sam's intervention. This admission implies that, despite the seriousness of the incident, there was no permanent separation between the two men. Following the 2011 incident, Big U and Nipsey continued to communicate and have a working relationship without any evidence of ongoing animosity. In addition to promoting Nipsey's work, including his Grammy-nominated album Victory Lap, Big U continuously highlighted their ongoing communication, saying they never stopped communicating and didn't go 2 days without hitting each other up. The homicide, the manhunt, and the hypothesis development. On March 31, 2019, Nipsey Hussle was shot outside his Marathon apparel store in South Los Angeles, rocking the hip-hop world. The events of that tragic day have been meticulously documented through court records and witness statements. The 33-year-old rapper, entrepreneur, and community activist had been making significant progress, having recently earned a Grammy nomination for his debut studio album, Victory Lap, and becoming a ray of hope in his Crenshaw neighborhood. A man approached Nipsey, who was chopping it up with friends and fans in the parking lot of the shopping plaza he owned. After a brief exchange, the man bounced back. But minutes later, armed with handguns, he began beating Nipsey repeatedly before escaping the scene in spite of emergency medical assistance. After Nipsey was declared dead at a local hospital, the search for her killer proceeded swiftly. 2 days after the shooting, the primary suspect was identified by authorities as 29-year-old Eric Holder Jr., component placeman also known as Shitty Cuz, a fellow member of the Rollin' 60s. On April 2, 2019, Holder was apprehended in Bellflower, California, after being seen on security film bouncing from the site and being seen by several witnesses. He was then charged with murder. Holder's trial revealed that the reason for the murder was based on a brief conversation he had with Nipsey just prior to the shooting. Witnesses stated that Nipsey had accused Holder of being a snitch, a grave accusation in gang culture that usually carries harsh penalties. This apparent lack of respect led the possessor to come back with the hammer and take Nip's life in a heat-of-the-moment crime, rather than as part of a planned hit in July 2022. More than 3 years after the shooting, Eric Holder Jr. was found guilty of first-degree murder, along with 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter for wounding 2 bystanders in the shooting. In February 2023, he was sentenced to 60 years to life in the pen. The case seems straightforward. A documented beef between 2 individuals from the same gang resulted in a tragic shooting. The system had identified, tried, and convicted the shooter. However, in the wake of mourning following Nip's death and against the backdrop of his rising star power and community impact. Conspiracy theories started bubbling theories, suggesting Holder was just a pawn in a larger scheme orchestrated by none other than Big. These theories gained traction for several reasons. First, there was the documented history between Big U and Nipsey, including the 2011 parking lot scuffle. Second, Big U's reputation as a heavyweight in the rolling 60s, and his alleged control over LA, quote, S street scene made him a plausible puppet master in the minds of those seeking a deeper explanation for Nippy's death. Finally, the timing of Nippy's murder, just as he was achieving unprecedented success and recognition, led some to speculate about jealousy or business disputes as potential motives. One of the most persistent stories revolves around a rumored 10-year contract that Nipsey had signed with Big U's Unique Music in 2008 or 2009. According to this theory, Nippy decided not to renew the contract with Big U around 2018 or 2019, which resulted in a business fallout that allegedly inspired Big U to approve Nippy's murder, with posts like one from an account on X claiming that Big U signed Nipsey Hussle to a 10-year contract in 2009, and that they began feuding toward the end of the contract in 2018. Big U realized that Nipsey wasn't going to resign to his label. On March 31st, 2019, Nipsey was shot and killed in front of his business. Is this a coincidence? This claim went viral on social media. You signed a kid off the street to a 10-year deal, which already sounds predatory. Then you tell us that you and Steve Lowell had a 50-50 management split. How can you manage an artist that you have signed to your label? That's a conflict of interest. Big U has consistently denied any business-related beef with Nipsey. Read a 2021 blog post from Focus Firm that further questioned Big U's business practices with Nipsey. He addressed reports about their relationship in a 2021 Drink Champs interview, stating that they were trouble-free.
On phone, he FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6 oh, I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. And I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got? Or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what f***ed me up.
Cannon went on to make an even more concerning assertion.
Cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? Fuck you mean? That fuck you talking about?
No, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information.
These accusations were shocking because they implied that Big U may have been manipulating strings behind the scenes, in addition to knowing about Nippy's death beforehand. The No Jumper interview swiftly gained widespread attention, and the video was circulated on various websites, igniting conspiracy theories that had been brewing since Nip's passing. However, numerous sources have questioned the veracity of these claims, raising doubts about the loose cannon's dependability. It's important to note that WAC 100, who emphasized Cannon's claims on No Jumper, has a history of fighting with Big U that is recorded, which raises the possibility that he was biased in supporting these accusations. After Big U allegedly submitted a cease and desist letter to the platform, and its presenter claiming defamation, and requesting that they stop disseminating the accusations, the No Jumper interview was finally removed from the internet. According to some stories, federal investigators later visited Adam 22 to acquire a copy of this letter as part of their Big U investigation, even though it had nothing to do with Nipsey's death. When former death row rapper Alicia Choice, also known as SKG, made similar charges in a March 21, 2025 TMZ interview, the accusations against Big U acquired even more traction in 2025. SKG asserted that Big U was undoubtedly involved in Nippy's murder and urged authorities to look further. SKG's accusations seem to stem from her long-running feud with Big U, whom she claims has harmed her career and physically attacked her. Like Cannon's accusations, SKG's claims lack specific evidence and seem speculative, relying on her personal history with Big U and Nipsey. However, a thorough critique of the conspiracy theories surrounding the case She claimed that Big U was an exploitative and abusive monster who extorted artists and had her assaulted in Nippy's presence while she was pregnant.
Leave like they make you think he had words with Nip, left, changed his clothes, and came back. That's all untrue and unfactual. I didn't even know the facts of it till Street Gangs. Alonzo did it, and the brother had words with Nip, from my understanding, because my big homeboy, Cousin Kerry, was there. He's the one who got shot in the head.
Digu's account of the events leading up to Nip's murder is consistent with the official narrative presented during Eric Holder's trial, which states that the killing was the result of a personal argument rather than a planned attack. He explains the chronology by pointing out that Holder never left the scene to change clothes, but instead went to a nearby restaurant before coming back to shoot Nippy, which is consistent with the trial surveillance footage and witness statements. The present accusations in the RICO indictment and distinguishing reality from fiction in March 2025, when Big U received a 43-count federal indictment under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, the accusations against him took a drastic turn. According to the accusation, Henley was the head of a criminal organization known as the Big U Enterprise. From 2010 until March 2025, he allegedly oversaw a mafia-like group that exploited his reputation and his long-standing connections to the Rolling 60s to threaten people and companies in Los Angeles. According to the indictment, Big U and co-defendant Sylvester Vay Robinson smoked Williams in North Las Vegas and disposed of his body in a desert ditch off Interstate 15. He was charged with the murder of aspiring rapper Rayan Williams in January 2021, allegedly over a diss track. The indictment also included accusations of fraud and embezzlement, alleging that Big U was skimming donations from celebrities like NBA players Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal to his nonprofit Developing Options. Big U was also charged with overseeing the stick-up of an unlicensed LA cannabis spot that stopped paying protection money, with rapper T-Main Luce Williams implicated in the job. Additional accusations included unlawful gambling, pimping, and human trafficking. Wire fraud and tax evasion depict an intricate criminal network functioning beneath the guise of respectable commercial and philanthropic endeavors. The most shocking aspect of the federal RICO indictment is that, despite the thorough investigation that resulted in the 43-count indictment, there are no charges or even references to involvement in Nipsey Hussle's death. This significant omission speaks volumes, especially in light of the fact that federal prosecutors claim to have over 20,000 intercepted phone calls, along with audio and video recordings exposing Big U's alleged criminal activities. Big U's arrest and indictment came at the same time. That loose cannon's accusations reappeared on social media, igniting a flurry of conjecture. According to accounts, federal investigators visited Adam 22 in order to get the cease and desist letter that was delivered to anybody who dared to challenge Cannon's claims. This visit was probably a part of the larger RICO investigation, perhaps to build a case about Big U's intimidation tactics, or to look into his relationship with Cannon, who is also named in the indictment as Big U's right-hand man. This fueled rumors that the feds were looking into a possible connection to Nippy's murder. Since the RICO case is only focused on other accusations, there is no proof that federal officials have discovered any concrete evidence connecting Big U to Nippy's murder. In a 2023 interview, Big U addressed the ongoing suspicions that he was responsible for Nippy's passing with apparent annoyance.
When I walk through the door, I'm the bad guy.
For sure.
But why they put that on you though?
They come in because it's black. I'm black. I'm black. I'm big. I mean, it's kind of racist when you look at it because the big black guys are the ones you gotta watch. I'm the only one that's gonna help you. Like I pull all the way up here by myself, right? I'm like, but then I mean, if I'm by myself, like I mostly be, I swear to God, I'd have been placed by myself and I'd be talking to somebody and the room would be like, Big U was there with like 30 dudes.
Big U spoke highly of Nipsey in a 2020 interview with Essence, calling him a brother and a warrior for Crenshaw. He praised Nipsey's vision and community work, pointing out that despite his fame, he is still accessible to South LA. This portrayal of mutual respect is consistent with Nip's own public acknowledgments of Big U's influence, which include references to big draws in his tracks. So where's the real talk? Despite all of these claims and denials, the most objective analysis would concentrate on the evidence, or lack thereof, that links Big U to Nippy's murder. For starters, the chronology and specifics of Nippy's murder, as revealed by surveillance footage and witness accounts, support the official account of a crime of passion committed by Eric Holder Jr., rather than a planned attack orchestrated by Big U or anybody else. There is also the question of motive. While conspiracy theories suggest a contract dispute or tensions from the 2011 altercation, these accounts disregard the documented reconciliation between Big U and Nippy, as well as their ongoing professional relationship prior to Nippy's passing. According to Big U himself, in a particularly illuminating interview from 2023, Big U had been promoting Victory Lab and, by all accounts, maintained a positive relationship with Nippy, undermining the purported motivation for planning his murder.
But like you said, when people who don't like you can use that against you. And I told my homies, I said, look, pay attention, bro. And I go to people, and I'm like, it's a whole side of LA that don't like us. They supposed to diss me. We one fraction that everybody don't like.
For real.
And then somebody asked me, well, why do people do that? Because they don't like me. They supposed to do it. If it was somebody that was grinding that I didn't like, I'm gonna make a fake page and say, yeah, I think, what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna make no fake page though, I just said.
I mean, but that's nowadays would do.
Yeah,
that's how
make a
they'll
fake
get
page.
you. They'll sit there and have you see 2 followers on it.
Look though, needs to be a lot though. Allah knows best though, because he took me through that to get me to where I
He also gave some honest insight into how these untrue stories impact Nippy's family.
goes to show you that no matter what you do in life, somebody always gotta have a bag. But all of that is shot in the ass when the man said on the stand, or the man said through his lawyer why he did what he did.
Did you know him?
Not at all. And you gotta understand, the 60s is a very big unit. Like I said, 4,000 or 5,000 dudes coming and going. He wasn't in my age bracket and I wasn't in entertainment and music. That was in fact they kid. You know you got your team, you know Jay, but your boys ain't gonna know Jay. You understand what I'm saying? Like it may be your top dudes who you every single day who know Jay, but your boys not gonna know Jay.
Right.
Cause you got your own team. Nip had his own team. Dude was a part of Nip team.
What we know about large urban gangs is consistent with Big U's explanation that the Rollin' 60s is a massive organization with thousands of members, making it completely plausible that he didn't personally know Eric Holder. More importantly, Big U highlights how persistent conspiracy theories disregard Nipsey's family and legacy.
So it wouldn't have been nobody for me to know. We wouldn't have never had a setting where we'd have been talking, we'd have been, you know what I mean? And believe me, like I say, this case was investigated by the highest level of the branch. That man got a letter from the president.
Well, I know for a fact if they could get you, they'd get you.
And they
If they thought for a second that you had something to do with it and they could prove it, you out of here.
They wouldn't even.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy because you do the family a disjustice. And you got a lot of people that do the family a disjustice when you keep this bull crap alive, you know, and not focus on what really happened.
This is arguably the strongest argument made during the discussion. The case was looked into by the highest level of the branch, with resources dedicated to finding the people who killed a well-liked community figure. If there had been solid evidence connecting Big U to the murder, he most likely would have been charged, especially considering the president's condolence letter indicating the high-profile nature of the case. The fact that he wasn't charged specifically for Nippy's murder, even though he is facing many other serious charges, speaks volumes about the lack of evidence supporting the conspiracy theories. As the legal proceedings against Big U for his alleged RICO violations continue, it's important to keep this distinction and let the facts, not conjecture, guide our understanding of these intricate and emotionally charged events. Thank you for seeing this video.